Today we're going to be reviewing the Christensen Arms MPR chambered in 300 PRC. I'm going to shoot it at distance out to 1,000 yards and maybe beyond if the fog behind us is going to be cooperative. I'll show you a couple 100-yard groups, talk about my load development, and just the general thoughts that I have of the rifle at the end of the video. So let's dive in. So this rifle from the factory, without the scope or bipod, weighs in at about 8.5 pounds. That's for the long action version. And if you get a short action and short barrels, I think it goes as low as 6.9 pounds. So that's pretty dang light. The thing that I did was I put on the Night Force ATACR 7-35, which is a 39-ounce scope, and this Atlas bipod, which is, half a pound or so. And as you guys see it here, this is a 12-pound system. Now, that's a lot of weight. If it's for a hunting rifle, it can be a lot of weight. I'm not a little, so for me, 12 pounds to hunt with is okay. But if you do want to make this as light as you possibly can, it is feasible to go in the low 10-pound range. Night Force, Leopold's, they make really good scopes that weigh around 20 ounces. And then you get a carbon fiber bipod, and that'll put you in the 10-pound range. Now, still, 10 pounds is still pretty heavy for a hunting rifle, but one of the things that I've noticed is once you get below that 10-pound mark, the recoil would just chew you up. And for me, this is not a primary hunting rifle. This is going to be a rifle that I could shoot with at distance and have fun with it, and at the same time, use it as a hunting rifle. So from the front here, it comes with the Slayer brake from Christensen Arms. This is a phenomenal brake. I really like it. It works really well. One of the first things I did with the rifle was put on my dead air suppressor, and that only lasted for a few rounds because even though this is a 12-pound rifle plus the weight of the suppressor, the recoil was awful. I mean, it was not okay. Like it wasn't going to be a rifle that I could shoot, more than 5 rounds and be okay with. So I put the Slayer muzzle brake back on because it worked really well. Going back down, this is a 26-inch carbon fiber barrel from Christensen Arms, 1/8 twist. It does good. From the early testing that I've done with it, or from the little testing that I've done with it, it has done really well. And this load actually that I'm going to be shooting today, I have not actually shot it for group, so the video that comes after this is on a different day. So I really don't even know how tight at 100 yards it shoots, and I suck at shooting group, so I don't really care about that. All right, the handguard is carbon fiber as well. Again, this is a Atlas bipod with the spiked feet. Really like the spiked feet addition to that. It's been helping me shoot. The chassis here, this is the Desert Brown chassis. Yeah, I like the color. There's a black version and this version. I decided to go with this version. I think it looks a little bit, dare I say, prettier, I guess. Night Force ATACR 735, and I'm a big fan of Steiner rings. These are high rings. I had medium rings on here initially, but if you could see this here, this gap here, if you go with a medium rings, the objective is going to be touching that carbon fiber handguard. So you're going to have to go with the high rings. And what I do like, what I was saying about Steiner rings is the blue bubble level, it just, I don't know, the Night Force yellow color just doesn't stand out to me. And so when I'm shooting, I just don't like it. I don't know. So I go with Steiner. Carrying on, the bolt here is fluted, and let's see here, let me collapse this. You have a collapsible stock here, and it reduces the overall length of the rifle. So you just stick it in your pack and be okay with, and it's just magnetized. The box mag here is kind of goofy. You have a cutout here that it kind of makes the magazine wiggle a little bit, and on this side it doesn't. But there's no reliability issues. Like, I've never had any issues with feeding, ejecting, anything like that. The rifle comes from the factory with a TriggerTech. I don't remember which version it was, but it's like the lowest TriggerTech version as far as the quality goes. And that one only comes down to like 2 pounds. So I have the TriggerTech Diamond in here. It's the Remington 700, and I love it. It's good. All right, I think that pretty much wraps up the rifle. I set out a couple pop cans at 992 yards. So let's see what it could do. This is my first time actually shooting it past 300 yards. So what you're seeing is what I'm seeing for the first time. Let's get to it. All right, so what I'm gonna be shooting is ADG brass. It's good stuff. And I'm shooting the Berger 215 grain hybrid target using H1000 powder, and it's going at about 29-30 feet per second. So the 300 PRC should be able to run that a little bit faster, but I don't know. I kind of like running moderate pressures. Makes the brass last longer, makes the barrel last longer. It doesn't chew you up as a shooter. And really, 100 feet per second faster really doesn't give you a whole lot of ballistic advantage downrange. So yeah, that's what we're shooting today. I was able to get this load to shoot single-digit extreme spreads, so I'm pretty pleased with that. We've got 6.7 mils dialed on the turret for 992 yards. It's from the level of the rifle to the target is actually exactly 0 degree angle. So if some of you guys are maybe seeing this on a computer screen, it might look like I'm shooting up or downhill, but that's not the case. It's perfectly flat. So let's see what we could do. I'm excited. This is good stuff. Let's do it. .3 mil low. Maybe I shouldn't have made that adjustment. Oh, okay. Well, the first 3 shots were kind of not what I wanted, but I'll think about it a little bit, let the barrel cool. All right, so one of the things I noticed immediately when shooting my 260, I was able to hit a pop can with it on just a few rounds with it. And this rifle is like 15-16 pounds, and the recoil is significantly less, and it's just so much easier to shoot. So we'll see. I'm back on the 300 now. Really high. Well, I got that one. I'll go for the left one. Boom, 2 for 2. That's pretty good. As you guys know, shooting a new rifle, the mechanics are a little bit different. And what I did on those 2 shots, or the 3 different shots there, was I changed how much pressure I was pulling back as I was pushing forward, loading the bipod. About as good as it gets. All right, so first things first, as promised, here is the group size at 100 yards. I haven't actually shot this, so this is gonna be a B-roll. So this is kind of a subjective area when reviewing a rifle. When it comes to shooting for groups, I have never been consistent enough to say that, okay, I am a good group shooter. Like I've been able to shoot in the .2s and the .3s occasionally, sometimes, you know, consistent-ish around the ½ inch at 100 yards. And then some days I just totally suck. I just want to preface it and say that if this is a bad day for me to shoot a group or shoot 4 groups, it's not going to be a realistic review of the rifle. So take it with a grain of salt. To me, downrange performance matters more. Like at 1,000 yards, being able to hit a small pop can at 1,000 yards, that to me matters a lot more than, you know, shooting a ½ inch group versus a .3 inch group. All right, so my load development process was fairly simple. I took brand new ATACR brass, ran them through a neck sizer just to get the tension of the neck's uniform, get any kind of dings or imperfections out. And then I use CCI 200 primers, 78.5 grains of H1000, and seeding the Berger 215 grain bullets at 60 thousandths off the lance. And I have found that at least when it comes to velocity, single digits was more than achievable and consistent. So I was pretty happy about that development. So let's talk about just my overall opinion of the rifle. I do like it a lot. It is shooting well. I've got 230 rounds through it at this point. And it's been flawless so far. There's only been one thing that I really can mark it down for, and that would be the action screw for the trigger guard here. Just a rattle that occurs because the small little screw that holds everything together in there loosens up. And over the course of a couple hundred rounds, I've had to tighten it twice. And I've used Loctite and, you know, torch it to the proper spec, and it just loosens up. So I don't know if, you know, Christensen Arms, you know, engineers are listening to this, but this is, I think, going to be an issue for at least the larger calibers with the bigger recoil. And it's kind of annoying, but it doesn't affect the performance of the rifle at all. And then the only other thing I could really say is I wish that Christensen Arms just put the TriggerTech Diamond in there. You know, they're spending a little bit of money on the lower grade version of it. Might as well just, you know, spend a little bit more and get more of a better product. That's what I have in the rifle. It's I don't have a trigger scale, but it's very light. I mean, you know, under a pound for sure, maybe closer to ½ a pound, and it's completely drop safe and everything. Like, I haven't had any issues with it whatsoever. Now, for some, the pistol grip might matter, and I do have a MDT chassis with the MDT pistol grip on another rifle. And by far, that pistol grip is a whole lot better as compared to what the Magpul is. And it's not bad, but it's not great, you know, so there's no real markdown there. Just, it's an easy fix. It takes a standard AR-15, AR-10 pistol grip, so whatever you like, you could change it in the future. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this review. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want. I don't care. See you later.
Whoa!